Welcome to Boulder Day Hikes. Today we are hiking the West Ridge to the top of Green Mountain. Sitting back there, up there, over there. This morning we tried a new coffee shop in North Boulder called Ruzo's Coffee. This was started by two young brothers. The coffee here is pretty good, an iced Americano like usual, some artwork on the walls, and like every other coffee shop in town, a little selection of food and snacks that you can grab before you head on your hike. Start off and you head west towards the mountains up Baseline, and you can go up Flagstaff Road. It is a 5-mile winding road with some steep parts up the mountain. About a quarter mile up the road on the right, there's Panorama Point with some great views of Boulder, Colorado. As you continue up Flagstaff Road, it's going to be a windy road. There's going to be a lot of bikers and people driving slow. So you just take your time, and there's a lot of turnoff points. The next great stop is at Realization Point. At Realization Point, you can park your car here, and then you're going to walk into those woods there or up the road, and you can go up to the amphitheater and to the top of Flagstaff Mountain. And on the other side of the road, there is parking, and that'll take you down Gregory Canyon, or you can find the Ranger Trail that'll take you to the top of Bear Peak, where we're going today. There is a third stop called Lost Gulch that you can pull off on the side of the road to get great views of the Continental Divide. Once you make it to the top of the mountain, just after the 5-mile marker, there's parking all along the side of the road, and the trailhead is on the left. Once you made it to the Green Mountain trailhead, you can look, there's all different kinds of trails up here. We're going to follow the West Ridge Trail out, and according to All Trails, it is about a 4-mile round trip. It says 3.9 here. As we get started on the West Ridge Trail, there's a great view of South Boulder Peak, and we're going to follow this ridge all the way along until we get to the top of Green Mountain. I use this hike a lot to get people to the top of Green Mountain. This is the easiest path to the top. This is truly a great hiking experience, hiking through the forest with a great destination at the end. Guys, this is Pat from Boulder Day Hikes. I make these videos where we go out for coffee in the morning, we go do a great Boulder hike, and then we go out and we find some food afterwards. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave in the comments below if there's any trails you want me to cover. Green Mountain from the backside. You can normally see this mountain above the Flatirons in Boulder. It stands out and rises above the city. From the backside, there's a ridge, and there will be a steep climb to the top. Every other way up the mountain, you're going to have to do a very large climb, thousands of feet of elevation gain. From here, not so much. I've been living in Boulder, Colorado for over 30 years now, so newcomers in the town, travelers, or people who live here never get tired of this view, ever. I mean, pretty smooth sailing, just a few rocks on the trail. Some steps ahead, no big deal. These two mountains you see off to the right are Bear Mountain to the left and South Boulder Peak to the right. When you get to the side, you want to make sure you go straight on the Green Mountain West Ridge Trail. And if you want to hike down Bear Canyon and into town, you go right. There's so many little offshoots on all the trails in Boulder, Colorado. You can connect so many. You need maps, you need to study them, or you just need to live here for a long time to know all the ins and outs. A runner, hiker paradise. It is by no means really easy. You are at 8,000 feet in that ballpark right there. And in the summer, it gets hot. I have a backpack with water, even though it's just an out and back 4 mile. It's good to have water. You will sweat. You may breathe a little heavy, especially at this next part coming up, and you might trip over rocks too. You will then reach a junction. Off to the left is the Ranger Trail, is the way up from Realization Point. And then for our purposes, we go right and we go up the Green Mountain West Ridge Trail. And this is when it becomes about a quarter mile of steep hiking. So be ready for that last little incline. We're going up. If you live in Colorado long enough, you know all the great views you gotta earn. You gotta put in that last little climb. All the 14,000 foot mountains, there's always a steep part at the end. This is no different, but if you want to see the city and the Continental Divide with the greatest views in Boulder, you got to put yourself through this. And coming on the West Ridge Trail makes it a little easier, but not a walk in the park. I'm going to do this final stretch for you and a timestamp, as you can see here. It is rocky and climby and everything in between. And if you look hard enough when you get to the top, there are ladybugs hatching up here. Plenty of them. Well, you made it to the top of Green Mountain. Spectacular views of the Continental Divide, the valley behind the Flatirons. I would suggest taking the West Ridge Trail out. It is the easiest way to access Green Mountain. And since it's an out and back, you're gonna have to go back the same way, down the hill. Say goodbye to the great view and the ladybugs and work your way out. And now we will go finish it off on the Pearl Street Mall because I am craving a couple slices of pizza, and I'm gluten-free. They have gluten-free and they have non-gluten-free. And this pizza place has been there forever on the Pearl Street Mall, right in the middle of the action. You walk in, there's a food case, and eat these wonderful gluten-free slices of pizza. And then if you're still hungry, go across the street to Avanti Food Hall to get some French fries. And there they are, some French fries to finish the day. A great morning of a new coffee shop, Green Mountain, pizza and fries.